should Rangers be using the EFL as a conveyor belt to send youth out to that aren't likely to get games, rather than keep them in the youth league, which is the current setup at the moment?
I think so, mate. Yeah, look, it's the Premier League utilise it, massively nowadays. It just seems to be growing with every season that passes. Especially the bigger clubs with the big squad depth and the talented youth setups. Yeah, they just seem to be looking for championship clubs to send their stars to, and it's proving highly successful, not only for those clubs that are obviously sending their players out on loan, but the clubs that they're going to as well. There's been lots of real good loan moves that have been made over recent seasons, and the players have just gone on to become stars, in their own right. And it's all started with a decent loan spell in the Championship. So I don't know too much about the standard that the Rangers youth players obviously currently playing in. How does the current system work then with
So we were playing in the kind of Lowland League a couple of seasons ago, which gave the younger players a chance to play, obviously, men's football. But that's now not the current situation. Some players have gone out on loan, maybe unsuccessfully. Alec Lowry was at Hearts for a spell. We've just had John Ifeko. He's gone down to Exeter. Actually started really well, to be fair. I think he's picked up an injury. It's going to see him out for about 8 to 10 weeks. So for me, I think the Championship's a bridge too far for our youth players. But I would still say that the EFL is a good measure. If they can get down and play League One, League Two, week in, week out, and have that kind of competitive edge, and be in a men's dressing room and understand what it means to win 3 points. We maybe guys that are kind of trying to pay their mortgages and they're relying on getting results. I think that's certainly better than playing youth football. And we've got a young striker who's banged in like 50 goals over the past couple of years. But it's about measuring yourself and taking that next step. So it is very, very difficult, I think. But for the Championship, as I say, I still think that's a bridge too far.
I think so. Yeah, that was just basically what I was going to lead on to. Is that I didn't want to be offensive to Rangers, the youth team. And
you're offended whatever you like, mate.
Well, what I was going to say was, like I said, it's reached that level now where, like I said, the Premiership, the very best teams in the Premier League, their best youngsters, those teams are looking at who can they send them to in the Championship. So that's the kind of the level that some of the best teams in Europe are selling their most promising youngsters to teams in the Championship to go and play, a really good level of football, get more minutes under their belt, try and build up those experience levels. And like I said, I think it's moved really quickly as well, because I think back, there's always been a few loan deals, but it seems like in the last few seasons, it's become a really important element to Championship teams in these loan deals. Basically, getting done. They always then tend to get done towards the end of the transfer window. But there's it's almost like everyone's waiting now to see the top teams, what youngsters they're going to maybe keep hold of for the season, and what youngsters that they're going to look to send out there. And everyone's just kind of waiting to see what happens. But yeah, it's. I think you're right in what you say as well. I think League One and League Two should not be kind of dismissed, because teams like West Brom, for example, and top teams in the Championship, we send our youngsters, we've sent them to League Two for a season, League One for a season, and it's done them, absolutely the world of good. They've just come back, so much better. That experience that they've gained, like you said, playing week in, week out against men, tough conditions. It's really kind of, it's really made them. So, yeah, I think so. you got to get that balance right, haven't you? I think, because you don't want to. There's obviously, it's doing some good in terms of the experience it's given those other teams that they're coming up against in Scotland, but then, like you said, you want it to be competitive enough that it's actually doing your players some good.
Want them to develop, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's it, develop. So,
yeah, I think this maybe feeds into Aldo's question, because he says, do you think Rangers should be looking at players from the Championship? Again, I would kind of just say that I still think that's maybe a bridge too far. Let's just use your club, West Brom, who've got, the boy fellows being linked to a move to Everton. I think you said to me 20 million quid could be a ballpark figure. That's just not where Rangers are shopping at the minute. So I still think even Championship players, possibly lower down the leagues, you look at is it Gyökeres, was it Coventry, obviously going on to Sporting. These players, you've got to get them maybe before they get to the Championship, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Championship, it's by the time you've kind of made a name for yourself in the Championship, I think you're right. I think you're going to be out of Rangers' price range, and it's also going to be out of the price range of those clubs towards the top of the Championship. I remember, we don't have to go back too many seasons when West Brom, we were plucking the best of the Championship. There'll be a player that that was at the top end of the Championship. We'd take those players and we'd be able to negotiate a reasonable fee for them that was within our budget. But now, like you've just touched on there, Tom Fellows, 15 to 20 million's being quoted for him. That's way out of our price range, and probably anyone else in the Championship. And he's only really just started to make a name for himself in the Championship. So, you look at some of the other guys who are more established, you're probably talking...
Well, you just look at some of the guys that Leeds sold in the summer for like 40 million quid.
Well, that's it. That's a perfect example, that's it. So, yeah, but I do think there are some gems to be had, and you're right. You're probably looking more at the guys who are kind of coming up from League One, and the teams that are kind of at the bottom end of the Championship. See if there's any gems in there that you can maybe pluck for a reasonable fee. We've made a success of that in the past, and others have as well. It's all about kind of sitting in the food chain, isn't it? It's where you sit and.
You look at the deal Celtic done for Matt O'Reilly at 1.5 million quid for the main K Dons, went and sold them for 25 million as well. So as you say, definitely deals to be done. But you've got Birmingham in League One spending 15 million quid on a striker. So it's trying to find that balance in the market, isn't it?